Round and round the bases and congratulating Anthony Rizzo on home run number 300. I feel like we've seen him go from a boy who overcame cancer, right, to talking to David Ross. I'm a glass house of emotions before the Cubs won it all. 300 is a lot, Cliff.
It's really a lot. And, you go back, you talk about the cancer. What about last year being concussed?
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to him in all season. He was like, man, it was miserable. Miserable time. To get back right, I forgot he played for the Padres, to be honest with you, his rookie year. Like, you just look at his circuit and what he's done, man. The adjustments, getting on the plate, you've made numerous conversations about him getting on top of the plate and just getting that backside.
We talk about the stones you have to be that close to the plate.
And that big. We look at eye to eye, so it's different.
I remember before we knew he was concussed, you were watching him on the nightly basis. You knew. You said something's not. He doesn't miss those pitches by that much.
I think had Judge been healthy, he would have probably went to the trainers a little bit more. But I think he wanted to be a great teammate that he is. If you go and Google his baseball reference page, this guy has posted his entire career.
Yeah.
300, he's exactly what we love, right? And he'll forever be in my heart. 2016, he broke a 108-year curse. We played together in Chicago. We know what that means to that city and what he means to that city. So it's going to be a fun summer in New York. I'm telling you, the weather's perfect today.
It's beautiful.
For the first time.
Wow.
Hey.
Just think about
no rain in the forecast
Rizzo's
at all.
going deep. Judge
now, look at this list here.
Soto.
Let's talk about another milestone homer. It's another significant homer for Pete Alonso. He's on this list. Fewest games to reach 200 career in Major League history. Ryan Howard, top of the list. And look at these names. You got Ralph Kiner, and then Pete Alonso, and then Juan Gonzalez. Pete Alonso hitting career homer 700 off Sonny Gray on, 200 off Sonny Gray on Saturday. And we've talked about, look.
Whether they keep him or not?
Yes, but there's a skill in driving in runs. I believe that. And he's got that skill. And that's not easy to do.
100% Polar Bear. There is on one hand guys that you could pencil in 40 and north of 100, and he's one of those guys. But Cliff, I think the biggest thing for me, and you could speak to this because you wore that Mets uniform, it's tough to play in this city, and this guy has come in with this fresh, please embrace me. Might be a little easier when you're hitting 50 tanks to get the fans to embrace you, but he wants to be here. He wants to be that guy. It's not easy for that to be the case.
I don't know what he has to do more. When you think about what he's done and what he's brought to that team and the fan base loves him.
Yeah, they love him.
The team needs him.
Yes.
You ill afford to lose what he brings production-wise to your team. And it's just, we was talking about on the golf course the other day, it must be something that's crazy, outlandish.
What he's asking
He's asking. Yeah. Because you cannot pass on a guy this good that brings this much to your team, and for them to win moving forward and to take care of the investments they already have in Lindor and other guys they have, you must have him.
And you need so much more to compete in the NL East for the next decade.
If he was asking for
more.
Matt Olson's deal or Freddie Free's deal or Goldschmidt, he would be signed already. He's obviously asking for Aaron Judge type money.
But let me just say this real quick to your point, his point about playing New York.
Yeah.
It's a beast that you have to be ready for. I wasn't ready for it. You have to answer different questions. You have to be ready, and you can't be smart. You know what? You better come with it every single night, and then they choose when they're going to leave you alone.
Right.
Based on how you answer questions, based on how you play. You play the right way, they love you forever.
You hit 62 and then they boo you.
The Oakland
100.
A's. The Oakland A's were ready for New York. They split a 4-game series with the Yankees last week. Then over the weekend, they take 2 of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles. Dero, your impression of the A's?
Well, I think I was listening yesterday driving to my kid's 14U game to Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden. They do this GM.
Yeah, front office show.
It's an awesome show.
Really good show.
And they were talking about the late Kevin Towers, who I miss dearly.
I love him.
Talking about building a bullpen. Win the games you're supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, do they have some monsters in the back end of that? Urseg and Miller. It's game over if they got the lead.
Urseg got the save yesterday.
In the 8th and 9th, it's game over. So they're finding ways to shut down the games they're supposed to win with elite stuff. And although their numbers offensively don't scream big production. They hit a ton of homers.
Yeah.
Shea Langoliers, Brent Rooker, Tyler
Beth
Nevin.
Brown.
Yeah, they go deep. They might be hitting 210, but they're all going deep. So they're getting the lead and they're closing it out.
Have you been on a team that has a bunch of youngsters that are trying to figure out? Have you been on that?
honestly never.
You haven't.
I
right?
never played on a team like that.
I have. 98 Marlins after we won the World Series.
You were hitting the streets.
Marcel, hitting the streets, getting after it, living in Miami. Maybe not so much in Oaktown. But when you talk about youth and having Mason Miller come in and talk about how you start to see guys figuring out. I don't know anybody that wants to go to play in AAA, especially when you got a shot to play for a guy like Mark Kotsay. When you look at how they all came on the field yesterday in that big win in Baltimore. But they're starting to figure it out, and it can get scary when a young team starts to figure out like that, because I go back to our 98 team. We had stars in the makers, Derek Lees, Mikey Lowe's, you can go down the list. But when you start figuring it out, it becomes scary. And a few years later, what happens in 03?
Yeah.
You win the World Series.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go.
No, Mark
It can
Kotsay and
happen.
his staff has done an
they've
excellent
been
job.
Been
So
really
you're
good.
saying when they go to Vegas, they're winning the World Series?
It could be.
They had the team intact from 7 years ago. They would be there right now.
Maybe.
Well, when you say building a bullpen, though, D, what do you do as far as getting to that point, right? Like, do you listen to offers from Miller?
No doubt.
Do you listen to certain things that's going to
That's
better
really
you in
interesting.
certain areas
You
that's
have
going
to. You have to find
put
your.
you in that position to
You have to
contend?
find your Acuna, your Tatis,
Yeah.
your star.
The A's
Hard
have
to
a
find,
better
though. That's
record.
like testing,
You got-
man. Blueprint, bro.
And the A's have a better record than the Angels and the Astros, Robert. To our top story, your Houston Astros. I got it. I got
They
it.
back.
Who they were
Roll
playing.
flow.
But in Mexico City, it was a nice sweep, and you know it starts and ends with the health of their pitching. This was a nice sight.
Well, I mean, look, they had their two. They had Ronel Blanco on Saturday, who's been their best pitcher all season. And then they had the return of Framber Valdez. And like you always say, it starts on the mound.
It always starts on the mound, and everything they've tried has not worked on the mound.
No.
Okay?
No.
We can go down the list. The Hunter Browns, they called up Eric Getty.
Yeah, he was decent. He was pretty good,
Yeah, no,
but he's a young guy.
North of a 9 ERA.
You're right.
Their bullpen has been atrocious,
Mm-hmm.
but the names on the back of those uniforms tell me they're going to right the ship. As bad as it could have gone, it went for Joe Espada in the early going.
Cliff, this is an interesting
I still
week.
think they end up winning that
This is
division.
an
I
interesting
do.
week, Cliff, because tomorrow they got the Guardians, and then the weekend they got the Mariners. And they play them at home. Two good
And
teams.
they're here, right? Face the Yankees after that, I
Yeah,
think.
so
I've said it and I'll say it again, man. Hitting's contagious. I've been saying it the whole weekend. When you're hitting, everybody starts hitting. So you're Don, what do you do?
You went deep
twice in
twice
the game.
Saturday.
Cal Tucker, what do you do? We hit a couple homers. They're starting to get back to the
I
point where,
hated
right?
bringing in Hader. As good as he is, I hated that move.
Why?
Ryan Presley has closed down World Series games for you. That was not an issue. And you just created one.
Yeah.
They can say all the right things that it doesn't.
you're right.
But it does.
You have to think though, and you just talked about pitcher wins. They're both of you.
No. We had it though. We had
Well,
had our guy.
You can never have enough pitching.
I didn't-
I'm
I
just.
didn't- I didn't
all
need
I'm
that.
saying is you can never have enough.
Don't mess with the chemistry.
Look, when I saw the signing, I thought. I felt
Why
you.
does this show work?
I felt you.
Why does this show work?
chemistry. It's all
Y'all,
about
y'all,
chemistry.
y'all work.
Real quick, Devin, did you
Yeah,
want to
did
ask?
we bring you
Were we
in and
supposed
you
to ask that
screw-
trivia question?
Yeah, I'm
drop
told
the
to ask
ratings
you
in a
about a bet
heartbeat.
you guys made in the commercial break.
Oh, the bet is D-Row and I bet.
You got the field. I took
Right.
I took the Astros. I don't feel confident about it, but until someone knocks them off,
Friendly wager.
little
Diet Dr.
friendly
Pepper.
wager. I'll
You'll have to go
trust.
somewhere else
I'm
to
gonna
get it.
trust they're gonna right the ship.
That's true. There's not
saw
a
what they
Diet
could do.
Dr. Pepper here.